one more hour to the end of the shift and then I can go home.
Annie, find cover. Quick!
Get to your ships!
What, did somebody forget to tell me about the invasion? Hey, nobody else seeing the 8-year-old boy climbing into a space pod? Nobody? Nope. No.
My guess is the Viceroy's in the throne room.
Red group, blue group, everybody this way.
Hey, wait for me!
Anakin, stay where you are. You'll be safe there.
Hey Liam, you don't give people permission to just get into a space pod whatever they want. Especially an 8-year-old child who drives go-karts.
We'll handle this.
We'll take the long way.
Who's this? Don't you worry, boys. There's a reason they hire me for security. Yeepa! So, The Phantom Menace, the first prequel into the Star Wars brand new franchise since the original trilogy that George Lucas directed, created, wrote, did other stuff for. It had lightsabers, it had fights, it had sci-fi stuff, it had ships flying about, all CGI. And was it a good film overall? Meh. Meh is kind of the response when people think of the prequels, because there's a lot of issues with it. For example,
it's all Obi-Wan's fault. He's jealous.
So before we begin, I just want to say hi. My name is Jack Dunlop and I run the YouTube channel Golden Arrow Media, where we make short films, original content. I personally do promotional videos on the side. We have content like Bury Me Downwards coming out, which is a short film, Unexpected Reunion, therapy sessions, superhero films, Green Arrow vs. Daredevil, Deadpool, our Emerald Archer film series, the second one's coming out. So if you're into all that, give us a wee check on it'll be in the description somewhere. And this is part 1 of Film Forum Studios review series of Star Wars, all 9 films, not the prequel ones, because no. And Nate was on my podcast, We Talk, where we were talking about stuff, and he reached out to me and says, let's do a review series, and I was like, yes, Star Wars, which one? And he gave me this, The Phantom Menace. Give me a good one, Nate, please. Why couldn't I have got Empire? The only good thing out of this, if you ask me quickfire what's good about The Phantom Menace, I'll automatically say Liam Neeson, because he's from where I live, Northern Ireland, so obviously I'm going to support my boy Liam. But at the end of the day, gotta do what you gotta do. So after Star Wars was a big success with the first 3 original films, George Lucas was like, I'm going to make 3 more prequels, and they're going to be all cool, and all the lightsaber fights are going to be like ninjas and stuff, and we're going to have more sci-fi, and more all this, and everyone was hyped, and then he decided to bring in politics. Yep. Politics. This film is 2 hours and 16 minutes long, and to be honest, it feels longer when you're watching it. I feel like I've sat for a day straight watching this film, which is like all the prequels. And I know I've only started, but it may seem like I'm butchering this film already. But let's start off with the positives to like lighten the mood. Positive number 1. Having seen Darth Vader, be this big bad guy that's like everyone knows Darth Vader, seeing his origin story as a young child really grasped my attention when I was watching it as a kid, because I watched the original 3 before I was introduced to the prequels. And it was just so nice seeing and like learning about Darth Vader's backstory and kind of having an insight on the Sith origin story. So seeing Darth Maul, seeing that Palpatine is actually the Emperor, and the Emperor has been in the government this entire time. Politics again. And they brought back the guy who originally played the Emperor as well, so he doesn't look like he's aged throughout those films. I don't know how he does it. Even in The Rise of Skywalker, he does not look like he has aged. Number 2 positive, Of course, they brought back the lightsabers. Why wouldn't you? The lightsaber fights are intense. They're way more faster. They're way more cooler. Something about, like, it's a PG fight scene with basically swords, but the way they just, the sounds and the flips, the kicks, the ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba, it's just class. Number 3, they brought back Puppet Yoda, which is what they did for the original, starting with Empire and then Return of the Jedi. And this was good. And then George Lucas was like, nah, let's just make everything CG as possible. And then Puppet Yoda died. I think they brought him back for The Last Jedi. And I think for Rise of Skywalker. But I can't remember those films. And number 4, I have to give this credit where credit is due. Liam Neeson. He's from Northern Ireland. He's from somewhere about Northern Ireland. I can't remember where. He did a great job being this sort of father figure for Obi-Wan, because we've seen Obi-Wan in Empire, or in all 3 of the Star Wars films. So it's good to see sort of his origin story and see who he looked up to. And Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor did a really good job. Now, as much as I can name those positives, there are a lot of negatives that come with this film, similar to all the prequels, because there are plot holes and just things with the story that just make it feel really, well, shit. As much as it's nice seeing Anakin Skywalker's backstory and becoming Darth Vader, his story in this film was very flat. It just was like, and then revealed as well with the midichlorians, you know, not anyone could be a Jedi. You have to have these midichlorian things in your body to have force-sensitive powers, which they've like retconned and then unretconned during the films. And it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. By the way, don't even start me on the Annie, little Annie thing, because that's just so stupid. Whoever wrote that in the script, bad. One sort of like side issue I have with this film is that Padme within this film is 12 years old and Anakin is like 8 or 9. And they fall in love, which is like, whatever. But then in the sequel, she stays the same, like looks-wise and appearance-wise, and Anakin grows 5 foot. Enough said. I don't know. And finally, this is an area I wanted to cover because when Nate gave me this film, I really wanted to cover this topic. The one thing people have an issue with this film is, of course, Jar Jar Binks. He is this companion that's kind of like Chewbacca's relationship with Han Solo, where he's just kind of there and a comic relief, and, you know, he helps out here and there. And I personally don't see people's issues with Jar Jar Binks. Overall, this is a kids movie. These originally made for kids. And he's a comedic relief. And I remember when I was a kid, I loved Jar Jar Binks. I watched the film and I don't be like, I don't care. It doesn't, where I know some people watch it and like destroy their TVs. What? Like, I know people have their opinions and yes and everything. Like, I like Batman vs Superman. I will say it to the day I die. It'll be on my gravestone. I get butchered for it all the time, but I don't really care. But I was reading up with doing research on this script and reviewing the film, and found out that the character had so much hate that the actor who did the motion capture and the voice tried to commit suicide because of the amount of backlash he got from it. About 20 years or so, there's a photo up where it'll be on screen right now, where he tried to jump off a bridge or something, and like over a CG character. We're in the middle of a pandemic, like that's big stuff. Whereas I hate this CGI character, so I'm gonna butcher him. What? People just need to like wise up, to be honest, and not give so much hate over a CGI character in a kids film. Are you gonna give off about the snowman in Frozen if someone didn't like that? Was the name Olaf or whatever, or the horse, or anything in general? And the actor who played Jar Jar, Ahmed Best, his career suffered extremely because of the backlash and because of everyone hating this character, and driving himself to the point where he tried to end his own life is very sad and it's very upsetting, because that's the impact the internet had on his career. You know, we see people getting abused and stuff like that, and all these actors getting cancelled and fired, blah 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 blah, over the internet. Whereas this guy was literally just trying to do a job that he was hired and paid to do. He was asked to be a funny CGI character, do the motion capture, do the voice. Done deal. You're in Star Wars. Happy days. And yeah, people just didn't like the character, so they butchered him to the point where he was so depressed they tried to kill himself. And that's not okay. So I, Jack Dunlop, defend Jar Jar Binks. Because at the end of the day, there are hundreds of thousands of films that are produced every year. Well, not every year, like over the span of years. Anyway, and people may hate them or despise them, but at the end of the day, they're films. They are films. I get grief all the time, as I said, of like watching Batman vs Superman, but I enjoy the film. Let people enjoy what they want to do. I personally don't like The Phantom Menace. I like wee bits and pieces of it, but I feel the film drags. There's probably someone sitting here right now watching the video being like, I love The Phantom Menace. Whereas I'm like, I would watch The Last Jedi and I would enjoy it. Whereas people would be like, what? That got really deep. I'm sorry, but you know, I'm just trying to get my point across as a creator. So overall, I would give this film out of 5 a 2.5. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with 2.5. As a fan of Star Wars, like I love the Easter eggs and like all the wee elements that George Lucas included in the prequels from the originals. But at the end of the day, I want to watch a film that I enjoy and enjoy the story more than anything. That's what I care about more when I watch a story. I don't care about the Easter eggs. As much as I like them, the story is important. I will like a movie and I will remember a movie. I will remember a movie and I'll remember a movie if the story is good. And that's just me as a director and a filmmaker. And for this film, sadly I did not. That doesn't mean it's a bad film. Just saying. There's people out there that enjoy them. Let people do what they want. You know what it is? It's like broccoli. I don't like broccoli. I feel it tastes like plastic and weird. But there's people who like broccoli. Films are the same as broccoli. So yeah, that's my review on Star Wars Episode Uno, The Phantom Menace. Oh. So if you've liked this video of what I've been doing, give it a ye old like. And make sure to check out Film Form Studios' content. They've got, this is part 1. 8 more episodes to go in the review series, so make sure to check it out. This is my video. If you want to check out more of my work, if you enjoy me, if you like me as a human being, you can go check out my YouTube channel, Golden Arrow Media, where we're making a sequel to The Emerald Archer, which is a Green Arrow based fan film, where I'm going to play the Green Arrow and fight Vigilante and Count Vertigo and all these bad guys. And yeah, it's great crack, and we're working on original films, we're working on a horror film, we're working on a comedy film. It's just all fun and games, and everything's up in the air right now because of coronavirus. Thank you, pandemic. So, thank you for watching, folks, and again, thank you to Nate for asking me to be a part of this Star Wars review series. And thanks very much. Over and out.